We'll be able to identify you if you want to speak.
We'll move to the front of the line. It's okay.
Everyone else is just in the bathroom, that's all. Evidently a lot.
The Planning Commission meeting of October 18th, 2023 is called to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The secretary will call roll.
Commissioner Mayer,
Here.
Commissioner Mann,
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy, Vice Chairperson Rice,
Here.
Chairperson Tolson.
May I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
A motion was made by Commissioner Kennedy with a second by Commissioner Mayer. Unless there are any objections, the agenda stands approved. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
I wasn't here.
I wasn't here.
I make a motion.
I have,
We weren't here, so can you?
Can we second?
yeah.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Kennedy. Second was made by Commissioner Mann. Unless there are any objections, the minutes are approved. Declaration of conflict. The secretary will read the declaration of conflict.
If any member of the Planning Commission may have a conflict of interest or any reason why that member must abstain from consideration of any matter on this agenda, he or she should so declare at this time.
Seeing none, this is the time allotted for public statements or comments on all items other than the public hearing items. Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to be heard on the agenda item? Okay. All right, correspondence. Is there any correspondence from the Deputy Director of City Planner?
Yes, Vice Chairman Rice and members of the Planning Commission, we did provide you with a supplemental staff report for agenda item 11A1 that was provided to you via email and provided to you here at the desk.
Okay, and this would probably be a good time to introduce our new Deputy City Attorney, Epi Margolin.
Happy to be here tonight and happy to be advising the commission moving forward. It will mostly be me and my colleague, I think Stephanie Gutierrez. So you may see some emails from us. I go by Epi. My full name is Ephraim. So I'll reach out and get all your emails and contact information so that if you need me, you can contact me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Okay, seeing as how there's nothing on the consent calendar, and no continued business, and we will move on to new business. Okay, this is the time and place set for a public hearing on the consideration of SPS 2023-0001, a recommendation by staff to modify the land use matrix for commercial and industrial uses and update developmental standards for retail stores in the West End specific plan area, and a determination that the amendments are exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. May we have an oral report on this matter by staff?
Yeah, Vice Chairman Rice, members of the Planning Commission, yes, this is the long-awaited amendments to the West End specific plan, industrial land use matrices to basically make the city more business-friendly with the West End specific plan area, to bring it more in line with our standard industrial zones in terms of the types of businesses and land uses that are allowed. And to describe that further, our associate planner, Zarui Chaparian, will do the presentation.
Good evening, Honorable Planning Commissioners. Tonight, staff requests that the Planning Commission recommend to the City Council approval of SP-S-2023-0001 to modify the land use matrix for commercial and industrial uses in the West End specific plan area. The West End specific plan was adopted in 1983 and amended most recently in October of 2021 to allow microbreweries and distilleries. The intent of the specific plan is to provide objectives, standards, and guidelines for the development of big box commercial and industrial uses. The specific plan is made up of 9 zones listed on screen, and each one of these zones have uses permitted based on SIC codes. These codes represent major businesses and industries based on common characteristics shared in the products, services, production, and delivery system of a business. As is pictured on screen, approximately 869 acres make up the West End specific plan area, which is sandwiched between First Street on the east, Oak Park on the west, LA Avenue to the south, and unincorporated Ventura County to the north, with the 118 freeway running through it. The highlighted section, which is the West End, borders industrial and commercial uses along the south and east. Listed on screen are the zones staff analyzed and expanded uses for. The images shown are current industrial and commercial businesses within the West End. With recent major shifts in the market, staff's intent with the specific plan amendment is to bring consistency between the city's industrial and commercial uses, avoid confusion and conflict within the business community, and allow flexibility in the West End, in an effort to be more business-friendly and attract different industries in a changing economic climate. Upon reviewing allowed uses and entitlement processes in the city's overall light and general industrial zones, staff added more manufacturing and industrial uses while adding uses that could service the West End's light industrial and GI zones, general industrial zones. Some of these include, but are not limited to, allowing furniture and manufacturing by right in the LI, GI, and AI zones, allowing primary metal manufacturing with a CUP in the LI, GI, and AI zone, allowing motor vehicle wholesaling by right in the LI and GI zones, allowing fuel dealers with a CUP in the GI zone. A full list of the changes are provided in Exhibit A of your staff report. Then staff replicated some of those uses from the West End LI to the West End AI zone. The amendments are meant to keep the core intent of the West End specific plan industrial zones while promoting economic development for the city through inclusion of diverse businesses. In turn, this would keep the specific plan area and the city competitive in the region, introduce innovative industries, and induce job growth. Staff also reviewed allowed uses in the city's CPD zone per the municipal code and replicated uses into the West End SR zone. Some of these uses include, but are not limited to, adding and allowing used auto sales with a CUP, adding indoor recreational and entertainment facilities for children as permitted uses, adding used merchandise stores as a permitted use. A full list of the changes are provided again in Exhibit A of your staff report. Last but not least, staff is recommending to eliminate the minimum and maximum square footage requirements for retailers. Currently, retail stores in the West End need to be between 6,000 to 70,000 square feet, depending on the type of retailer. If a business wanted to locate here currently, they would not meet the development standards for size requirements. Therefore, in an effort to encourage businesses, staff is recommending removal of these size standard requirements. Research has also found that the emergence of a digital retail space and the impacts of COVID-19 have larger retailers such as Kohl's, Target, and Macy's rethinking their physical footprint and shifting their focus to smaller stores. The changes proposed also take into account these new market dynamics, and staff is recommending removal of size standards for commercial uses. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend to the City Council approval of SP-S-2023-0001 and a determination that the proposed amendments are exempt from review under the California Environmental Quality Act. Thank you.
Does any commissioner have questions of staff? Commissioner?
Does this affect the current town center mall within this zoning district? Is the overlay part of that?
The town center is actually its own specific plan, so it wouldn't.
Answers the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll open the public testimony portion of the hearing. Is there anyone in the chamber wishing to be heard on this matter? Yes, sir. Oh, thank you. So, Doug
Felbinger.
Felbinger.
My name's Doug Felbinger. I own an industrial park on Cochran Street next to the old school district headquarters,
Okay.
where that used to be. I'd want to speak in support of these changes to the AI zone. I think it's awesome. I found 3 uses, though, that don't seem to be copacetic with what you guys, I believe, are after. The first one is 333. It's gets a conditional use permit in the LI zone and is not allowed in the AI. And then we've got 5084 is permitted in the LI zone, and it needs a conditional use permit in the AI zone. And then we've got 871 is permitted in the LI zone and is a conditional use permit in the AI zone. And I think this is like really great. Whenever people from out of town, they don't know what AI zone means, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to just tell them very simply, AI is the same as LI, except it has some additional uses, would be like super awesome. In a market like this, it doesn't make any difference, but in some of our hard markets, whenever there's a lot of product on the market, if something's too hard, people just move on to the next thing, so they don't have any problems. So anyhow, great work. I appreciate it, Sean.
Doug, what was that third number?
Um,
Was it 871?
871, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Are there any comments from staff regarding statements made during the public hearing? Give staff just a moment to.
Yeah, in response to those applicants' comments, I'm looking at my staff down there. It appears that if the commission desires, that we're okay with extending those LI zones to the AI zone for those 3 uses. R&D's,
Let me see. That was 333.
So let me start from the last one.
Oh, that was
87
the smelting.
Yeah.
You want to go to the last one first, 871?
871?
just because I have it in front of me. That's engineering, architectural, and surveying services. So that is a permitted use in the LI zone. It's a conditional use permit in the GI and the AI zone.
So
with the intent of the LI to AI conversion, staff is okay with making that a P
for the AI zone.
for the AI zone,
Okay.
if the commission desires.
Is the commission,
We want to go to 5084, we could.
5084.
5084? light industrial machinery and equipment.
Correct. Again, that's permitted in the LI zone and a conditional use in the GI and the AI zone.
And the intent was to replicate the LI into the AI, so it looks like that could be changed to a P if so desired.
Okay. And then 333, I actually had that one checked on mine. Believe it or not.
Yeah, that's specialty, primary smelting, and
Yeah,
refining
smelting.
of non-ferrous metals.
Since we have that, I also have since we have a conditional use on the LI, why do we have a conditional use in light industrial? Why isn't that just a permitted use in light industrial? Are we saying to make it a conditional use in the AI
I
zone?
didn't. The request is to make it a conditional use in
To
the
make it a
AI
conditional
zone.
use,
Yeah.
okay. So they would both be a conditional use, so they'd be
Right.
the same, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, that'd
Okay.
be Cs across the board.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. Okay. Well, I can come back to that question, actually.
And that's all the comments staff has on the public comments.
Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and go with my question, since you have the foundry and smelter one on there anyway. Do we have a size limit on smelting or foundries? Is that anywhere in our?
Our definition does not mention
It
a size.
doesn't mention a
No.
size limit or anything
No.
else. So, but I mean, I understand that could come up in a conditional use, but I noticed that under the iron and steel foundries, if it's a permitted use, if we change it to a permitted use, I'm assuming that wouldn't be an issue. I mean, like, they could basically ask for anything, right?
Yeah, so you could ask for anything, but there's, Vice Chair Rice, members of the commission, you could ask for anything, but we still have to comply with the building code. And we're also looking at our existing building stock out there, and there's not necessarily all building types everywhere to
Right.
support this. But yeah, there's a possibility that larger or smaller facilities could be allowed either as a permitted use or as a conditional use. So it could require building modifications as well, which could trigger architectural changes.
Okay, all right.
Interior. So there is some set of regulation. But yeah, it is a little tricky there when you get to that. But
A lot of air handling equipment involved in that type of process.
Okay. I was just curious on that because it's kind of a really involved process and, okay, but
Opening a smelting company, are we?
I believe it or, anyway, it's a long story, but anyway. I'm gonna leave that one alone for the moment. Okay, so,
So just so I understand that we're adding a conditional use permit under AI.
under AI for 333,
Okay,
yes.
I'm good with that.
Okay, if there are no further questions, we'll close the public testimony portion of the hearing.
I'm
Okay,
good.
and confine it to the planning commission? Okay, well, actually, I'm gonna open it back up. I actually have a question before we move on of staff. 555, which is watercraft dealers. Why don't we allow watercraft dealers in the automotive overlay? we,
I could respond to that. The little history on the Weston specific plan, the SIC code gets very, very specific on types of uses, and you see 554, 555, 556 for recreation vehicles, watercraft, motorcycles, etc. There's probably no specific reason why they aren't included. What the decision makers made 25, 30 years ago maybe didn't get that specific. It's certainly one that is similar to recreational vehicle dealers, and it could probably be added if so desired.
I think that it's kind of silly to allow recreational vehicles and motorcycles and not allow people to sell jet skis or, boats.
Right.
To
there-
me, it seems kind of silly.
yeah, there's so many categories.
So
we're not
if
we're not picking up all of them.
Yeah, I understand
but-
that, and I'm not trying to, I'm just thinking that that's just one that I would like to see added as a permitted use. I don't know why that's there. And,
Most recreational vehicle dealers. sell
yeah,
ATVs,
exactly,
sell
right.
Watercraft
And
as well.
why take that away from them and make them go through the whole process? The other one was, and this I thought was the silliest of all, which is 82, which is 8231, which was libraries. Why you can't have a library in a mixed-use area?
We actually didn't make any substantive changes to the mixed-use zone. We only focused on LI, AI, GI,
Okay.
and SR for
But-
this round.
But wouldn't those, but there could be mixed use in the West End specific plan, correct?
Right. We have a mixed-use specific plan zone, but the purpose of tonight's hearing was to
Okay.
focus on those four
right.
zones. We did not study the
All right.
mixed-use.
Then,
category.
okay, then I'll ignore that one for now, but then let's go down to engineering, architecture, and surveying services, 871. And we have that as a condition under AI, we have that as a conditional use. I don't see why that couldn't be a permitted use. I don't know why that needs to be, if,
That was one that we just changed to permitted use.
is that in the update? Okay,
Yes.
all right.
No, that was from the public statement.
The public statement.
Oh, that was the 871? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You're right. We did change that, and I even circled it. My bad. Okay. Never mind then. Okay, well. Okay, that was all I had. That was the other one I had, so. So we're on the same sheet of music. Okay, so, let me go back to, so at this time, we will, unless any planning commissioner has anything else, we will close the public testimony portion of the hearing. Are there any comments or questions from members of the Planning Commission? Seeing none, may I please have a reading of the resolution?
Resolution number SVPC 11-2023. A resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Simi Valley recommending City Council approval of specific plan amendment SP-S-2023-0001 for the West End specific plan to modify the land use matrix for commercial and industrial uses, update development standards for retail stores, and a determination that the project is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
The chair will now entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution approving SPP-S-2023-0001.
A motion was made by Commissioner Mayer. May I have a second?
Excuse me, I'll second.
But before there's a vote on the motion, I'd just like to clarify what's in front of the commission and whether the amendments
Correct.
that are in the original motion, so that we're all make sure we understand what we're voting on, and we can just clarify that.
So it would be a motion
As
Amended.
amended, okay. Do you want me to repeat it, the whole thing? I move to adopt a resolution approving SB-S-2023-0001 as amended.
And do we want to have staff just note those amendments, or are we all on this same page? I think it might be helpful just to do one last go around to make sure that staff understands what the commission would be directing it to if the motion were to be approved.
All right, I'll start off with amending category 333 to add a conditional use to the AI zone.
Five zero
5084 to
permitted.
change that to a permitted use. And 871 to change the AI zone proposed C to proposed permitted use. And
555.
Vice Chair Rice had
555. It was 555 to permitted use.
yes, 555 watercraft dealers in AI zone to add to a permitted use.
I think that's it.
And those are the amendments.
Wasn't there 871 as well?
Yeah,
We already addressed 871.
we did.
Okay, may I have a second? We're gonna go do, just to make sure. So I need you. I'm gonna have you do a second again, just,
You'll have to second
you have to
again
second again because we changed the.
if you want to.
I second as amended. Sorry,
Okay,
I'm still reading here.
okay, call for the vote.
Vote passes unanimously.
The motion passes. There is no appeal period for SPS 2023-0001, and the item will proceed to the City Council with the Planning Commission's recommendation. Proceeding to the next item. Let's see. I'm on the wrong page again. Normal? Let's see. 12A, so.
Thank you for coming.
Oral
Thanks,
communication,
Doug.
thank you. Oral communication and report. Does staff have anything to report?
Staff has no items tonight.
Do any commissioners have anything to report? Mobile home rent mediation board. Does staff have anything? to
No
report?
items tonight, sir.
Tree advisory board. Does staff have anything to report?
No items on the tree board tonight.
This concludes the meeting of October 18th, 2023. The next scheduled meeting will be November 1st, 2023. The meeting is adjourned.